Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Randomly Offensive. After reading, watching, and listening to everything Doctor Strange, I have come to some amazing conclusions. The first one being, he is the reason why the Eternals were able to save the day in their movie, why they were able to stop the birth of the Celestial and save the world from being destroyed, and that he could have defeated Thanos. Not only could he have defeated Thanos, but he could have done it quite easily, a lot easier than we thought, and he strategically chose not to because of the events that happened in the Eternals. He saw it and he predicted it, and that is what he meant by this was the only way. Thanos was not the threat that he was trying to stop. And on top of all of that, I have managed to figure out, at least I think, I have allegedly figured out not only what's going to happen in Multiverse of Madness, but how it's going to end, and a plot twist that I don't think anyone has been expecting. And if I am wrong, I will be the first to say it, but I think I nailed this thing, and I am so excited to share it with you guys. So, without further ado, let's hop into it. Now, a quick recap. We decided and figured out last time that he is the master of incantations. He can perform any spell, even if deemed impossible, according to the realm that he is in, as long as he has the right modification, making it so that he has no limits when it comes to his incantations. He has zero limits, he can do whatever he wants. He is aware and watching of any threats in the universe, and he is capable of building bonds with powerful beings throughout the entire universe, using Odin as proof of that. With the recap out of the way, let's hop into my theory and my proof. So let's start off with him in Infinity War. Now, he has been a Sorcerer Supreme for 5 years by the time Infinity War happens. That means he has already faced off against foes, and it is incredibly evident by the stark differences in his abilities in the first Doctor Strange movie and when we see him in Infinity War. He has become much more powerful, and it's incredibly obvious. There are many hints that he has already fought Doctor Strange villains off screen. After all, he's very proud to say that he protects our reality. But now the question is, who? And how can it affect the Multiverse of Madness? To figure that out, we must first look at the 80 Doctor Strange villains we get in the comics. Now, we know characters like the Dweller of Darkness, the Arcadian, and other villains like Thanos who have already been beaten or taken by other heroes. So deducting those leaves us about 72 Doctor Strange comic book villains. Now we need to exclude villains that nobody in their right mind would have defeated off screen. So characters like Nightmare, Mephisto, Master Khan, Dracula, etc., etc. Now we have about 50 possibilities. So to narrow it down, I would like to look at what abilities he has gained or advanced in the fight with Thanos. Because just like how Tony Stark improves his suits based on his past mistakes and defeats, Stephen Strange does the same with his mystic arts. So by analyzing the fight with Thanos, we can figure out what improvements have been made and find out what villain or villains would require or make probable cause for the advancements. In the fight with Thanos, Doctor Strange's first move is conjuring energy discs in his hands like we've seen before. However, he then turns them into bolts of energy that bounce off and through the ground. So we're looking for a villain that would require low yet massive attacks that can cover a large area. Next, we see him use the mirror dimension to catch Thanos' returning blast, and is then able to project the mirror dimension towards Thanos. This improvement on using the mirror dimension is a direct result from when he fought Caecilius in the first Doctor Strange movie. When Doctor Strange used the mirror dimension, his only way to use it was to expand it with himself inside, resulting in his own defeat and the death of the Ancient One, proving he does improve his abilities based on experience. After that, he turns Thanos' energy blast into butterflies. Manipulating matter in such a way indicates a very unique villain to require Strange to learn such an odd skill. The final thing we see is him multiplying himself by hundreds, surrounding Thanos, then conjuring whips with every single multiplication to bound and incapacitate Thanos before Strange is defeated. It's curious on what villain would require such a task-driven technique focused on just simply binding and capturing your opponent. Now, one may argue he adapted all of this after sending his astral form into the future, living 14,605 possible timelines in Infinity War. Though it is true that your mental and intellectual strength will grow while using the astral form, your physical strength will stay the same, meaning any abilities Strange did collect during this, his body lacked the skill and muscle memory to perform well enough for it to be useful against Thanos. However, it is the root cause for Doctor Strange being more spell-based in Spider-Man No Way Home, since his intelligence did grow significantly after exploring the 14,605 possible timelines. Now, this prediction for the Multiverse of Madness depends on a villain in between the first Doctor Strange movie and Infinity War, and it depends on Doctor Strange fighting a villain. So what we need is a villain who is a big enough threat to require this kind of increase in strength that we see in Infinity War, yet unimportant enough to have an off-screen death, while somehow still impacting the story of the Multiverse of Madness. And it sounds impossible, it sounds unlikely to exist. I almost gave up and scrapped this whole thing. But then I found him. A villain that fits the bill so perfectly, it made me think that this whole thing was planned, and it's so perfect. This villain is similar to Shumagorath, but lesser known, making it highly unlikely to ever debut in the MCU, due to it being too repetitive, but would have a huge impact on Doctor Strange in his earlier years. And this villain is the Toad God. Yes, the Toad God. Now, some information on the Toad God. According to his mythology, he has existed since before the sinking of Atlantis. And according to that mythology, Atlantis sank in 9600 BC. So the Toad God would have been on Doctor Strange's radar as soon as he became Sorcerer Supreme. The Toad God is an evil deity. He has dark magic and wants to rule all dimensions, which fits Doctor Strange's MO of threats he deems unacceptable perfectly. There is just no way Doctor Strange would let something like this roam freely. The Toad God's powers are the following. He is able to change shape and form into any type of either amphibian or reptiles. This would explain why Strange learned how to manipulate mass. If his opponent could transform into something to give themselves an edge, it only makes sense that he would want to be able to turn them back into something more manageable, like turning Thanos' energy blast into butterflies. The Toad God is also able to communicate and control both amphibians and reptiles. And now we know why Doctor Strange had to develop a way to turn his energy disc into a powerful, widespread, and low attack, seemingly designed for multiple low-to-the-ground enemies. The Toad God also has immense strength, giving us more background on why Doctor Strange tends to stick with a more distant attack style and sticks with more distant attacks in general. The Toad God also harnesses dark power, has great intellect, is cunning, and is highly resistant to injuries, showing Doctor Strange's strategy to outnumber his opponent and bind them rather than defeat them. And finally, the Toad God has immortality, making the only way for Strange to defeat him is by projecting a mirror dimension, trapping him for eternity. So, what does this all mean? Well, if they stayed comic book accurate, it means that Doctor Strange and the Toad God had multiple battles throughout the years. And every battle that Doctor Strange had, he became even stronger, he evolved even more, he adapted even more. And when he finally beat the Toad God, he became the most powerful character we have ever seen in the entire MCU. And this guy had an entire arch rival that we never even knew about, that we never even got to see, right? And he was taking on deities that are unimaginable and incomprehensible to the rest of the MCU characters. He was taking out threats that no other Avenger, no other MCU character could ever even stand a chance against. And he was so much stronger than Thanos when he fought Thanos. He could have wiped the floor with Thanos, but Thanos was the only one that was able to snap. And that was a strategic move to allow Thanos to do that. When he said that this was the only way, he didn't mean this was the only way to beat Thanos. He meant this was the only way to save our planet. And the Eternals explained it to us and put it right in front of us for us to actually figure this all out. The Eternals explained that the population is what allowed the Celestials to birth. And by birthing, they destroy the planet, right? And so when Thanos snapped, he knocked out half the universe, or half the population of the universe, and that stalled the Celestial from birthing. And if he would have birthed 5 years ago, the Eternals wouldn't have been ready for it, and it would have destroyed the Earth. But because of Thanos snapping, it delayed that by 5 years, and by the time the Celestial was finally about ready to birth again, the Eternals were ready, and they were at the point they needed to be to stop it. And when Doctor Strange went into those 14,604 or 605 possible timelines, he saw the Celestial threat. And that's when he decided that he was going to let Thanos win. This guy is the most intellectual, most intelligent, most powerful, most strategic character that we have ever seen ever in any cinema. We have never seen anything like this, and it's not even getting to the most exciting part. It gets more exciting because now it's time for the prediction. Oh, it's so cool. It is so cool. So with this 3-part series, our prediction has finally come to fruition, right? Shumagorath is now a minor villain. He's going to be defeated halfway through the movie. Because we have Doctor Strange, and then we have evil Doctor Strange, who's going to be a future version of this Doctor Strange. The evil Doctor Strange has gone through the same story arc and the same experience as Doctor Strange, plus more, and has become so much more powerful than our Doctor Strange already is. And so they're going to take out Shumagorath because of their past experience with the Toad God. Because the Shumagorath has like almost the exact same skill set, but just a little bit more, right? But they're going to take out this villain, and then Doctor Strange and the evil Doctor Strange, they're going to disagree morally, and the evil Strange is going to decide that he needs to get rid of this Doctor Strange. And so that's when Doctor Strange decides to go through the multiverse and collect allies that he needs to defeat evil Strange. And then when he finally defeats evil Strange, on the climax, he finally defeats evil Strange with all his help. He becomes scared of his own power. He becomes scared of what he might actually become. And so he splits himself in half the same way the Ancient One split him in half in the What If episode, right? He splits himself in half. And now is the birth of Strange Supreme from What If. And now we have the MCU's version of Strange Supreme. And now Strange Supreme is born to be the next villain in the sequel. And this is it's going to be the coolest thing if I'm right. I don't know. This is a prediction. This is a theory. I might be completely wrong, but I think I have nitpicked the hell out of every little thing that I could find on this guy, and I think I'm onto something. I think this is gonna happen, and I can't wait to go to the theaters and watch it. I can't wait to do another deep dive when this movie comes out. I can't wait for a second trailer. I am stoked for this. It is going to be so cool to see all this just come together and actually see what we're gonna get. And what do you guys think? Do you guys think I'm right? Do you guys think I'm dead wrong? Do you think we're even gonna get anywhere near this kind of plot twist, right? I can't wait. I can't wait to see all this play out. And I am even curious if they thought this far. I just, anyway, I'm going to slow down my excitement. So yeah, please like, subscribe, and share this video. I put so much work into this video. I am so exhausted, and I think this is the best one that I've ever done. So I appreciate all your guys' support. I hope you made it this far, and if you did, thank you so much. And yeah, please like, share, subscribe, and take care of yourselves. Really do. I mean that. Take care of yourselves. It's crazy out there. And yeah, bye.